Hey, comic lovers, EMoney, the old man, and Thor the Dog of Thunder here. Thor is just so happy to be here today, aren't you?
Aren't you? Seem pretty happy until he just laid down on the job.
Yep. All right, so what do we have going on today? Well, we're going to give a brief overview of the first two episodes of Hawkeye. Nothing too in-depth because that would take away from our reaction videos if we went too far.
Spoiled our spoilers.
Yeah. But we got that, and we got comic reviews. We got a lot of Batman last week. We're going to see if any of them made it into the top 3 or 4. And we have our comic previews. Also, I have another Movie-ism. I have an all-new Movie-ism, never before used before.
Do tell.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to have a lot of fun today. Oh, man, you know what the magic word is?
Abracadabra?
Hulk, you know what the magic word is. Hulk, you know what the magic word is. Smash! 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 This is Back Issues.
Smash! Smash! Smash!
Alright, comic lovers. So before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications, give us a thumbs up, and if you like, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think of these comics, or you can give us some recommendations. Alright, so before we get into all that, I promised a little overview of the Hawkeye TV series. So in the new series, we catch up with what Clint Barton has been up to since Avengers Endgame, which is the last time we saw him. And we're also introduced to a new hero in Kate Bishop. Alright, old man, so what do we think of the new series?
Well, I mean, it's a lot like all the Marvel/Disney TV shows. Your first episode or two is character development, which you got to have. I mean, I don't know anything about Kate Bishop. And this time they mixed in enough action to keep it interesting. So
right.
I thought it was good.
Okay. So one of the things that I don't want to see happen in this series is I'm afraid that, Clint Barton is going to do his run on I think it's 6 episodes. And then he's going to, pass the proverbial torch on to Kate Bishop, and, then we're never going to see him again.
That would make me sad.
Yeah.
For one, I think Jeremy Renner's a great actor, and I enjoy the character.
Yeah. And, there's so few original Avengers left because, Tony's dead, Black Widow's dead, Steve is,
old.
He's old, and as far as we know, he's not dead. But if you hear the way they talk about him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they make it sound like he's already dead.
No, he ain't dead.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
So that leaves 3 original Avengers left, including Clint. So, I'm fine with Kate Bishop becoming the new Hawkeye, but I don't want Clint to die.
No.
And 2, I don't want him to just, fade out into nothing. If they just want to bring him back for special occasions, okay. But, I just don't want him to be gone completely.
I would like to see him get the chance to spend more time with his family.
Yeah. That's fine. If he wants to be semi-retired and be with his family, that's, I'm glad he got a happy ending, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So, there's the, what I don't want to see happen. And also, as we see at the end of episode 2, and some of you guys have some inside information, the MCU is about to become a little bit bigger and also a little bit more connected.
You know who that character at the end is, don't you?
Yes, I do.
You keep your power hole shut.
All right, so if you don't know already, the old man does not watch a whole lot of trailers. He tries to be as unspoiled as possible.
Yes, that's me, unspoiled.
Yeah. So, we went to see Resident Evil the other day, and the new trailer for Spider-Man: No Way Home came up, and as soon as it came up, the old man is like,
Well, if you just put your hands over your ears, you're still going to hear stuff. So I could do the whole. I do that whole thing. If anybody's watching me, they'll think I'm totally insane. But hey,
right?
Can't hear anything.
So
anyway.
Has not seen any trailers for No Way Home, which is kind of the way to do it if you have the willpower. I don't have the willpower.
I got the willpower, no doubt.
Yeah.
But there's always some jackass out there who's going to spoil something, or something's going to slip through. Like I do know who one of the villains is from one of the previous Spider-Man arcs. I mean, there have been rumors of it for a long time, but now I know it's a fact. I'm pretty sure it's a fact.
All right.
Don't want to know that, but I do.
And also, I read the comments before the old man does. So don't any of you try anything, you jackasses.
I don't read the comments. He reads them to me, so.
All right. So, and, he hasn't seen any previews for Hawkeye. He didn't see Hawkeye before it came out in the first place. So, he is going into this with totally fresh eyes. All right, so that is our overview of Hawkeye. We're going to have our reaction video to episode 3 later on today if you're watching this on Wednesday. So be sure to check that out on Disney+. All right, so that does it for Hawkeye TV show. Now let's go into our comic book reviews.
Yeah, the name of this show is Back Issues, so here we go.
All right, so if you've never watched our show before, this is how we do our comic book reviews. We do it on a 5-shield rating system. We each give it 2 scores, one for writing and story, the other one for artwork. And then we combine those 4 scores together to give it an average overall score. All right, so first we're going to do our previews because we're not previews. We're going to do our mentions for the week. We don't call them honorable mentions because sometimes we have something negative to say about them.
We could call them honorable and honoring.
Okay.
Because it's going to be one or the other.
All right, so first up on our mentions for the week, speaking of Hawkeye, we have
Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, #1.
All right, so in this issue, Kate Bishop has been established as Hawkeye for a while now with Clint's blessing, as they have had we see them having a text conversation in this issue. So, she does what she does, disrupting some crime around town. And then she gets invited to a get-together with her estranged family. Her family, as we saw in the show, are rich people. And they don't approve of a lot of what Kate's been doing with her life lately. Being a superhero and all that. Like, how could you disgrace the family like that, right? How would you feel if I were a superhero?
Well, if you're going to be a superhero, I want you to be an invulnerable superhero.
I mean, and that's the only way it would happen. I've said for a long time that if I got any kind of superpowers, I'm not doing the Batman Hawkeye thing. No, I'm not doing that. But if I have
Most people would get shot in real life.
Yes.
Shot dead.
Especially if all you have is a bow and arrow. All right, so if I am going to do the superhero thing, my superpowers had better have some kind of invulnerability. Because if I'm not invulnerable, I'm not doing it. I'll do like a sideshow thing, whatever, make money, whatever my power is. Anyways, so we see Kate get together with her family at this resort along with her one-eyed dog, Lucky. And
Lucky.
Yep. And we see things unfold from there. The artwork was okay. I think we both gave them 3s. So Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, #1, well-timed from Marvel Comics here, ends up with 3 shields out of 5.
All right, next up. We haven't been reading any of the Hulk titles, so when the new Hulk #1 came out, we're a little bit lost. I mean, they keep talking about some event that happened recently. I don't know anything about that event, but it still seemed pretty interesting to me.
All right, so Hulk #1. So Hulk has evolved from his, Hulk smash roots, and now he is deploying a plan that involves some of Tony Stark's technology, and Tony is looking to stop him and stop him from getting into this facility that he has. And we see Doctor Strange, who knows a bit more about the Hulk than everyone else, explain the situation to the other Avengers. And one of the interesting things about this issue is, they put this line on the cover here. What if the Hulk exists to protect us from Banner? So
not the other way around.
Yeah, terrifying thought if ever there was one. So we see this here, this has good action, and, you have to read on to see how the Hulk's plan unfolds, because we don't know everything just yet. All right, so Hulk #1 ends up with...
After rounding it up, 3.5 shields.
3.5 shields out of 5.
And here's one that always gets mentioned.
This is why this is an example of why we don't say honorable mentions.
Batman Reptilian #6, and I think it's the last of the miniseries.
All right, so we've talked about Batman Reptilian since it first came out. So this is the conclusion, I'm pretty sure, to Batman Reptilian, where Batman does a wild stunt at the end of the last issue, and then we see what unfolds from there. So then we see other powers that be get involved about what to do with the giant reptilian creature, and also what to do about Killer Croc. And we see the conclusion here. Some of the variant art and concept art at the end of the issue, it's like, this is so much better than what we ended up with. Why didn't we get this? But anyways, so we've said it for a long time. Garth Ennis, he knows how to write Batman. It's good Batman stuff. He just needs to separate himself from Liam Sharp, in our not so humble opinions.
Yeah, you don't have to agree with this. I'm sure there are people out there that love the artwork.
Mm-hmm. Not us.
Not us.
No. All right, so Batman Reptilian number 6 ends up with
2.5 shields.
2.5 shields out of 5.
All
right, so now on to our, I believe it's the top 4 this week, because
top
there were
4 because there was a 3-way tie for number 2. So I looked around trying to figure out how I'm going to break this tie, and I saw a deck of Uno cards. Turns out the old man might not be EMoney in a lot of stuff, but he can outplay him in cards. The old man won. So I got to pick the order of number 2, 3, and 4. If you don't agree with me, tough. You weren't playing Uno. So anyway, I put the Death of Doctor Strange number 3 in the number 4 spot.
All right, so we see at the beginning, in the first issue of this series, Doctor Strange is mysteriously murdered in his sanctum, and a remnant of Doctor Strange. It's like, imagine like you pull Doctor Strange from a moment in time from, like, say 10 years ago, bring him to the present, and now he is tasked with solving his own murder. So this is a younger version of Doctor Strange who is doing this, and he's investigating, and he's seeking the counsel of other mystics, and as well as the Avengers, and finding out their next steps. And some really interesting character development in this is Doctor Strange finds out that his old buddy Mordo was somehow involved in his murder. And also, Mordo is holding some of his property. So, Doctor Strange, Wong, and what was her name again?
Clea.
Huh?
Clea.
Doctor Strange's love interest. Storm
way back.
Yeah, Storm Mordo's tower. And, Doctor Strange has a badass moment here. He says that he was surprised to see Mordo, but in fact, he was being sarcastic. And he says he was actually surprised to see him, in that he could not believe that after all these years and all the atrocities Mordo has committed, that he was still alive and that he hadn't killed him yet. And in the final picture, we see this shot of Mordo with Doctor Strange on the other side of the door. So I got a little kick out of that.
Never did like that cat. Scumbag.
All right, so the Death of Doctor Strange number 3 ends up with
3.5 shields.
3.5 shields out of 5. All right, next up.
All right, also with 3.5 shields, one of EMoney's favorite shows, is the Orville Artifacts number 2.
All right, so at the end of the last issue, the Orville has been tasked with trying to enter a solar system, which is nearly impossible to enter into because this system has 3 different suns. So the gravitational pull and solar flares make it nearly impossible to get into. So after much risk and a scientist hijacking their ship at one point, which resulted in the death of 3 crew members, they actually enter into the system, and now they're stuck here. They're dead in the water. But they do end up discovering what they went out here to discover. So now they are trying to find their way onto one of these ancient ships in a hope that they can find their way out of this system. So they have to take the mad scientist with them, since he knows more about these things than anyone else. And the story unfolds from here. And I really like, Gordon's badassery in this issue, because he really steps up to defend a person that he just met and who has been kind of under the tutelage of this mad scientist guy. So really well done. And one thing I always like about this story and the previous story that we read is how well they do the likeness to all the characters from the show.
You don't have any doubt who their character is.
Yeah, I mean it's really well drawn here. So the Orville Artifacts Part 2 of 2 ends up with 3.5 shields out of 5. Our number 3 pick for this week.
Number two in a 12-part miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
DC versus Vampires.
All right, so as we see in the first issue, the new ruling vampire occupation, I guess.
King of the Vampires.
Yeah, has decided to declare war on humanity, and that vampires are tired of living in the shadows. So they start infiltrating all these different groups, and Batman concludes, once he finds out, a rogue vampire, gave him the information that the vampires are doing an uprising soon. So Batman, deduces that they're going to go after the metahuman community first and round up, either kill or turn as many of them as they can. So Batman deduces that the first thing they'll probably go after is the supervillain community, because it's not as tight-knit a bunch as the superheroes, and these villains, they go underground for months at a time, so no one's going to notice their absence as quickly as they would the superheroes.
And if the Joker shows up acting weird, who cares? It's the Joker. He always acts weird.
Right. But the first thing Batman has to do is make sure that the people closest to him have not been turned. So he informs and also tests the members of his family. So also he figures that they're going to, in addition to the villains, they're going to try to infiltrate these superhero groups. And he thinks the most logical step is to go from the bottom up, but he has not even, or barely, begun to fathom that a member of the Justice League could already have been compromised. So really well done stuff here. Great writing for Batman. DC versus Vampires, number 2 out of 12 in this series. It ends up with 3.5 shields out of 5. This one could have been our number 1 pick, but the artwork was just so-so.
It wasn't anything to jump up and down about.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both gave him 3s, so if it had been a little better, it would have ended up at number 1.
Correct.
All right, so speaking of number 1.
Well, never thought this book would be in our top picks at all, much less be number 1, because, well, we don't read Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
But the spinoff, Gunslinger Spawn, has been fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yep. All right, so in the first issue, it was like a giant-sized issue where we got the main story, which continues here, and then we also got like 3 Old West stories. In the main story, Gunslinger Spawn, he's from the Old West, and he has been thrown into the present 21st century. And the other 3 stories, it was all tales from the Old West. And I actually like those stories better than the main story, which we don't get any here, which is slightly disappointing, but you know what? That's all right.
EMoney likes his westerns.
Mm-hmm. All right, so in the beginning of this issue, Gunslinger Spawn is engaged in a battle with 3 different angels, and they are looking to do some bad things here on Earth, and Spawn is looking to stop them. Also, we have a kid who's caught up in the middle of it, which Gunslinger Spawn has taken a liking to. So after the battle concludes, Spawn goes to this kid's house, and I got a real kick out of this scene here at the end, where they go back to the kid's house to recuperate, and Spawn yells out to the kid. He's like, "Taylor," he's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "What's this?" He's like, "What are you talking about? What is this here?" And he's like, "It's a toilet." And Spawn's like, "I know it's a toilet. I'm not stupid. Why is it in your house?" And there's 2 pages of this argument back and forth, and Taylor just is like, "Okay, you know what? I'm walking away now." But so it's a good mixture of action and humor in this issue. really well done, well drawn. Gunslinger Spawn, number 2, our number 1 pick for this week. 4 shields out of 5. All right, so before we go into our previews, one thing I want to mention here. As you guys might know, the old man and I are big fans of the comic book series Space Bastards.
Space Bastards!
And for just about every issue in which Robertson has drawn, it has ended up in our top 3. Excuse me. The other ones drawn by Simon Bisley have ended up in our mentions because, we want to, keep going talking about it, but Simon Bisley really brings the grade down, which is, part of the conversation we've been having since Space Bastards came out. So, one of the co-creators of Space Bastards, Joe Aubrey, who I believe is a writer for the series.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah. Hi, Joe. He has been a longtime viewer of our show because ever since we've been talking about Space Bastards, he's left us a comment every now and then.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Appreciate you watching.
Yep, absolutely. So we talked about the Space Bastards preview that we got at the end of the last issue, Space Bastards Special Delivery, and we weren't really sure what that was about, but I did see that it had artwork from Simon Bisley, which, our feelings on that. So Joe Aubrey decided to clear things up for us. So Joe left in our comment from last episode, the special delivery issue is an epilogue for this story arc. There will be artwork from 3 different artists, including non-painted art from Simon Bisley.
Now, see, I've told you that Bisley's done other things where he wasn't painting. He was doing the old pen and pencils and ink.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll enjoy it a whole lot more than we did the painting.
Okay, so we'll see how that goes. And then he says, glad you liked issue 9. Stay tuned for season 2. So that means we're gonna get another series after the epilogue issue. All right, so thanks for the information, Joe. Appreciate it. And I responded to your comment, and I'm gonna say it here. Thanks for the info. And also, if you'd be interested in doing a Zoom interview with us at some time, do a special episode for the show, let us know.
You know you want to do it.
Yeah.
You do.
We want to talk to you. Let us know in the comments section, and, we'll work it out. All right. So that does it for Mr. Aubrey. Call us back. All right. So now we have our previews for this week. What do we got going on?
All right. A couple weeks ago, I said that I declared it the week of the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And it was. Well, this week, I declare it the week of the Bat family.
Okay.
Because it's annual week, and you have the 2021 annual for Batman, Detective, Robin, and the Joker.
Okay.
You also have Gotham City Villainous Anniversary Giant Size. And see, Batman the Detective, we've been reading that. And Batman Fear State Omega, which hopefully wraps up that storyline.
Okay.
Please. And you've got an anniversary issue from the Avengers. We don't normally read the Avengers every month. But this is issue number 50 of the current volume. And if you put all the volumes together, it appears this is issue number 750 for the entire Avengers run.
Okay.
So we're going to get that and review it.
All right. Well, usually I am not big fans of anniversary and annual issues because usually it's like you got this story arc that you've been reading for several issues now, and you're into it, and you're ready to pick up the next issue, and then they throw in an annual like right in the middle of it, and it's usually a standalone story that is completely removed from the story arc you've been reading. So like now you have to wait another month to get to the next issue.
Well, in modern times, annuals don't replace the normal issue. They're an addition. You still get your monthly that you would get anyway.
Okay.
They throw in an annual. I mean, I think we just got Detective not too long ago, and now here comes the annual. But at any rate, the current Fear storyline, was it Fear State?
Fear State, yeah.
Fear State storyline, I'm burnt out. So if the annual takes us away from that, thank you. I'm all
Okay.
for it.
All right. So is that do it for the previews?
You got some other interesting stuff. You've got, I can't believe this is something I'm going to say I'm looking forward to because I don't like symbiotes. Venom number 2.
Oh, really? Okay.
I like number 1. So let's see number 2. Maybe we'll keep going with this title. I don't know.
All right.
A little independent book called Hell Cop. Remember that?
Hell Cop.
Hell Cop. Fights demons. That open from other dimensions. Demons are coming in and he hunts them down.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Feel like it's been a while. All right.
Looking forward to that. And a book that you probably never heard of. Evil Ernie number 1.
Nope. Never heard of Evil
Ernie's
Ernie.
back. I haven't read an Evil Ernie book in decades. So I want to see how they do with the character.
We'll see. All right. So that does it for our previews for this week. Now, I have an all-new Movie-ism this week. Never before seen. Not been on this show or on EMoney's reviews. Brand new. All right, so let's head back up into the garage with Thor. All right, back up here in the garage with Thor. Hey, buddy. Hey. Do you hear the corgis across the street? Are you interested?
He don't care about them little mutts.
All right, so I have an all-new Movie-ism for you today, and all of my examples come from comic book movies. So, tying into our theme here at Back Issues.
That's why it's called Back Issues.
Yep. All right, so today's Movie-ism is the My Turn scene. Any guesses on what that means?
Did you say my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Main character takes a beating, gets knocked all around, and then it's his turn.
Okay, that pretty much nailed it. All right.
Self-explanatory, but it's a good one, though.
Yeah. The definition I use is when a group of bad guys take their best shot at killing the hero, usually involving a hail of gunfire, fail, and then the hero takes their shot.
See, I would have thought you were going to use examples where they physically beat him.
I mean, that could be another example, but most involved that I found use a hail of gunfire.
Okay.
All right, so first example, the first Iron Man movie. When Tony is escaping from the cave.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah, they bombard him with all kinds of gunfire, and then it's time to take his shot.
My turn.
Another example using comic books. V for Vendetta, towards the end of the film, after he kills the Chancellor, the agent guy tries to take his shot at killing V, and V even says to him before he starts shooting at him, he says, I'm maybe paraphrasing a little bit, but he says, "No, what you have are bullets. Bullets and the hope that once your guns are empty of them, I will no longer be standing. Because if I am, you'll all be dead before you reload." Always love that line.
Another good one.
Yep.
My turn.
And then finally, this one, I might be fudging it just a little bit, but towards the end of the film, The Mask, he's at the club, the bad guy shoots the mask out of his hand, and he goes running across the bar for it, and he jumps over, and all the guys with their machine guns.
Did you miss me? I guess not.
Now you have to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punks?
All right, so there are a few examples of the My Turn. If you have some more, I always like to have, like, preferably more than 3 examples when I do a Movie-ism. But if you have, another one for me, let me know about it in the comments section. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode of Back Issues. Did you have fun, boy? Did you have fun? Did you have fun spending time with Grandpa?
Of course.
Yeah?
Before we got the snacks.
Is that why you get so excited when you see us? Because you know what's coming? I'm just going to sit on this pillow and I'm going to eat snacks. Right? All right, so be sure to catch our reaction video to the newest episode of Hawkeye on later today. And also, be sure to tune in next week for Back Issues. All right, hope you guys had a fun and safe Thanksgiving. And, be careful on your Christmas shopping in the coming weeks. And
throw some elbows. Get in there.
Do your Amazon shopping if you can. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Excelsior.
True believers, we need some more comments from y'all. We need to know how we're doing. If you like our TV show reviews, if we do a movie review, we'd like to know. Come on.